Good morning.
Loved, thanks for being in the house. Thanks for being online. I'm Reverend Debbie. And I get to host today, which is kind of fun. Our statement of truth for this center is that there is a power for good in the universe. And we can consciously use it. Consciously is the key. Which brings us to our mission here, which is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire that positive, affirmative way of life. I think I just got blown out of here, but okay. So now's a good time to check and make sure your cell phones are off, or at least quiet. And it's a perfect time for me to introduce our musician today, Claire.
No, I'm just saying we need words on the screen because we're all going to sing. I sent you an email. I wondered why you didn't reply. Oh, well. I guess I'm doing it then. And let's do some people know I Choose Love? Oh, see, you're not off the hook yet. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us can't be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let love be the one. I choose love. I choose love.
How is that for a lovely way to start us off? All right. And now it's time for our group reading. So if you would all join me, and let's just acknowledge the following truth. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. Ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. Ready to be a transformative light in the world. Oh, love that idea. So now that we've acknowledged our truth, let's get a centering prayer going, okay? If you would just join me and let's just breathe together. You know, that breath that just sort of allow it to let your shoulders drop a little further away from your ears, and a breath that we just allow ourselves to feel it in our lungs. That breath, that very breath, is God in expression. Because there is only one power, only one creative source, just one, which goes by many names, but is always saying yes in a divine partnership that allows our thoughts and our feelings and our intentions to direct this creative energy. And from this place, I just say thank you. I say thank you for this gathering. Thank you for those online. Thank you for this breath, this very life source. And I allow gratitude to fill my heart just as oxygen fills my lungs. I know all is well and all will be well, and so it is. There we go. Okay. This center, we acknowledge that there's many names for the one, many paths to the one, and many rituals. So we want to honor some of the more traditional faiths. So I'd like to ask Joan to come up as we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as a path of love. And we light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. Thank you, Joan. And now I invite us all just to take a moment and just recognize that light within, that spark that is always present and always available to tap into. That spark of new thought, where we know and acknowledge our power and our oneness. Thanks. Okay, and now we've got some inspiration happening from practitioner Dee Dee.
Thank you. It's so good to see you guys. This is from Joanne chose this for a reading. It's from Science Mind magazine a couple years ago in February. And it's called The Stir of the Soul. That could be our whole reading. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. That's from Albert Einstein. And then from Ernest Holmes, The Voice Celestial, love is spirit's alchemy. And love transmutes the less into more, proclaiming heaven here on earth. And so the reading is, being creative means allowing life to move through you. If you don't listen to your own creativity and give it expression, you betray yourself. Wow. Your creativity comes as a seed that needs to be nurtured by your love and attention. This seed is surprisingly dropped by a divine muse as an idea, an inkling, a tinkle, a possibility, an image, a vision, or an urge, luring you to come play in the creative field. A new playmate catches you unexpectedly, enticing you out of your linear realm into an imagination of unlimited potential. If you don't believe in your creative expression, it will never see the light of day. It will be challenged with apprehension as your confidence fluctuates. You are an alchemist who brings the hint of possible into form. The more you illuminate the stir of the soul, the more excited you become to bring it to life, irrespective of what other people think. It has chosen you as a birth canal. It will enter this world with your unique characteristics. Sorry. So be real what you are loving into reality. If you don't deliver this gift for the world, no one else will. It is your contribution to give. Without you, it would never be expressed. And so the affirmation for the day is, I am a confident, creative canal for new possibilities to birth themselves into reality. Woohoo! Thank you, Marv. You're so supportive.
And here she is back again, Claire.
I thought maybe we were going to do a duet or something. I love connection between things, and these two songs seem to connect themselves. Amazing Grace and What a Wonderful World. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. I see leaves of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright sunny days, those warm sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on those faces of people passing by. And I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're only saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. What a wonderful world.
That was pretty incredible, huh? All right. Speaking of incredible, we're on a roll. Reverend Joanne, come on up.
Thank you. Gosh, that was beautiful. So welcome, everybody. Good to see you here today. February, and we've been talking about love, and not so much romantic love, but the love of God, that love that comes from our Creator, that's within each of us, and that it's the love that can get us where we want to go. It's our life support. It's our all. So we took the word love, broke it up, of course, as we do, into L-O-V-E, and Debbie talked the first Sunday about living with light and laughter and how important that is to have that lightness in our life and to go through our life with lightness of heart. I talked the next week about omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience, and how all of those qualities of God are qualities within each of us. And then last week, Debbie talked about vibrating with vision and vitality, and today I'm talking about enlightened enthusiasm. So that's kind of a blueprint of what our February is like. So there's an author called David Hawkins, and he wrote a book called Power versus Force. Many of you have read it. There's this guy in my prison circle. I go to the prisons and take this message to the prisons, and we have a circle of 8 to 15 guys every week, every Tuesday. Either I go with Monty or Colleen, and now Alicia's going to start to go with us. She's coming on Tuesday nights. So one of the guys, you think of these hardened criminals in there, and yet one of the guys he was carrying around a book, Power versus Force. I said, have you read that? He says, I read it, and I just started reading it all over again, so I read it the second time, and I'm going to read it again. These guys that, yes, they've made mistakes, they're in there, but there's a redeemable something in them, and we love to have them in our circles and have them share their faith with us, and we love to remind them that light, that creative light, that's all there is within each and every person. Each and every person, even in that circle of people who are in there being punished for horrible deeds that they have done. So in his book, Power versus Force, he talks about vibration of different things. And he tells us that love has a very high vibration. Joy has a very high vibration. And so we're talking today about this enlightened enthusiasm as a way to embrace and express these emotions of joy. And this is what we're here for, I think, to let that very power that created us experience life in, through, and as its creation. So today we're going to be talking about some keys to creating a life of enlightened enthusiasm, and I'm going to use some quotes by a master and a yogi. And to begin with, there's a very powerful yogi, and he said this, he said, love is the most important thing in the world. But baseball is pretty good too. And of course, we're talking about Yogi Berra, and we'll hear a little bit more from Yogi later. But right now, I want to get this vibration stuff going. And so I'm going to ask you, normally I don't ask for participation from you guys, but I thought that we're talking about vibration, it's a good thing. So what I'm going to ask is I'm going to ask the people on this side of this aisle to repeat after me, enlightened, and on this side, enthusiasm. So when I do this, I'm going to say enlightened, and you say it after me. Okay, enlightened. Enthusiasm. Enlightened. Enthusiasm. Enlightened. Oh, you guys are real good at this. And now I'm going to repeat what Charles Fillmore said. Now, Charles Fillmore was the founder of the Unity Church. They're very much in the same belief system as we have. And this is what he says. I fairly sizzle with joy and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. I mean, don't you just love that? What a great, and that was kind of what I was trying to elicit here. A little sizzle. We did good. We did good. We're going to get another chance to do this. We'll redeem ourselves. So the word enthusiasm, according to Webster's dictionary, ardent zeal or interest, fervor, divine inspiration. And then this Charles Fillmore wrote a book called The Revealing Word. It's a dictionary of metaphysical terms. And he describes enthusiasm this way. He says, a powerful expression of living interest. It is active and vital. Enthusiasm is another word for zeal. And zeal is a great stimulator. You cannot think of or repeat the word zeal without evoking a certain mental thrill that spurs you to action in some direction. Would you like to have not known this guy? And that whole story of he and his wife Myrtle, how they started the Unity Church, very inspirational, very miraculous, how they came up with the land, how they came up with the money, just a lot of good stuff. I also like to look at the origin of words, like the origin of the word enthusiasm comes from en and theos, God within, or God inspired. At the beginning of the year, we do a little something we call the white stone ceremony or something. So I get these white stones, I order them from someplace that supposedly come from a mine in Jerusalem, who knows, I don't know where they come from. But the idea is we write on there a word that we want to kind of be our word for the year. And many times my word for the year has been lightness of heart, because I think I, like a lot of people, take life a little too seriously sometimes, and I have to remind myself, lightness of heart. This year, I wrote of the word in spirit. It's a real word, inspirit, in spirit, and it means to transfer life into. And some of the synonyms are to buoy, to cheer, to comfort, console, embolden, energize, excite, hearten, inspire. Isn't that fun? And everybody loves to do this. We do it every year, and a lot of people put theirs up on their computer or carry it in their pocket just to remind themselves, what did I decide to focus on this year? And I like this idea of transfer life into myself, and let that light that I transfer into myself, let that radiate to everything and everyone around me. So Power Verses 4, Hawkins shares that enlightenment is the highest vibration, higher even than love or joy or peace, is enlightenment. So spiritually, enlightened means to be fully awake. And you're all familiar with this, I think you're all familiar with the story of Siddhartha Gautama. He was born 2,500 years ago, and he was born into kind of a small kingdom, and his dad held a ceremony for him 5 days after he was born, and invited 8 Brahmin scholars to come and give read the future to this little guy. And they all gave a dual prediction, and the dual prediction was this: he's either going to be a great king or a great spiritual leader. Well, the dad thought great king would be good, spiritual leader, not so much. And so to keep him from being a spiritual leader, he thought he would want to keep him from being a real compassionate person, because he thought if you're a compassionate person, you're probably going to be more likely to be a spiritual person. So what he did is this palace, of course, in those days they had these big walls for protection around him. And so the king decided, well, I'm not going to let my son out of these confines, and he's never going to see old people. He's never going to see disease, never going to see poverty everywhere he looks. So no compassion can bubble up because he's not seeing anything bad. But this kid one day he got a little curious, so he sneaked out of the confines of this wall, and he saw old age, and he saw poverty, and he saw sickness, and he saw death. And it changed him, and this is how the story goes. It's 25 years old, but probably there's element here. So shortly after that, he left home and he traveled around like these spiritual guys did at that time, trying to be enlightened, trying to find the truth, trying to find their purpose, trying to be who they thought they were supposed to be. And so he traveled around and he practiced some kind of severe self-disciplines, and he avoided indulgences. So he lived a very austere life. He was trying to really keep himself pure and simple and so forth. But he didn't seem to get enlightened. It wasn't really doing the trick for him. So he decided, well, I'm going to quit doing that, and I'm going to go on my own path. I'm just going to go within and see if I can hear that voice of spirit from within speak to me. So he goes and sits under this Bodhi tree. We've got a little guy, he's not here today, but he's like a little over a year old. Bodhi, that's his name. He sits under this Bodhi tree, and he decides to sit under that tree for 40 days until he becomes enlightened. But after 40 days sitting under this Bodhi tree, opening himself up to this enlightenment, he indeed becomes enlightened, or he becomes awake. And after that time, he was called the Buddha. And he was enlightened and shared that enlightenment, obviously, with the world. So to be enlightened, to be inspired or awakened from this love from within, and to show us our purpose, to let us know our purpose. That's kind of what we're talking about here today. So taking a page from Buddhism, we're going to talk about 3 ways that we can boost our enlightened enthusiasm. And the first, of course, is meditation. And I don't think we have to sit for 40 days and nights under a Bodhi tree. But for most of us, if we could just take 15, 20 minutes in the morning and just get in touch with that power within, just ask for guidance for that power, just stay quiet. Just say, I'm listening right now, and I'm just going to be quiet. Stuff happens when we do that. And even in Western medicine and stuff, they're doing this stuff in the hospitals. What a change this is from 50, 75 years ago, when basically meditation was introduced into the United States. So it's really come a long way, where it was kind of woo-woo for a while, now it's acceptable in the hospitals. So everybody understands the benefits that that meditation have. I did a little research. I thought I remembered somewhere along the way that there was some studies about meditation and how it could change, for instance, the crime statistics. And one of them happened in Washington, D.C., where the crime was really kind of out of control. And one of the studies, I just found this, and I would encourage you, if you're interested, you can go to the internet and find other stuff, but this is one that I came up with. They were comparing the crime rate from 2002 to 2006 to the crime rate in 2007, 2010, when they were doing this meditation to about bringing the crime rate down, not just in Washington, D.C., this was nationwide. And in that time period, it recorded a 21.1% drop in homicide and an 18.5% decrease in violent crimes overall. And that would break down, for instance, to 8,157 lives that weren't taken because of this meditation. And this sampling apparently was done in 206 urban areas of over 100,000. And again, I pulled this out just because I remembered there were some pretty interesting statistics, but this idea of meditating is so powerful. And as I said, now even the hospitals in Western medicine seem to be onto it and taking advantage of it. So meditation is a big deal. The second way we can boost our enlightened enthusiasm is by giving up your resistance. You know, that's very Buddhist too, to not resist. Give up your resistance to that which you do not want. It's our resistance to that which we say we don't want that causes our suffering. And we can set an intention to give that up. Diane Harmony wrote a book called The 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life, and one of the things she writes in there is this: when we let go and let God, we are in the midst of a spiritual practice so powerful that the core beliefs that have held us captive and small can be dismantled. Resistance to our good can melt away. Fear of the unknown can be shattered. A sense of oneness with God and all life can be embodied. And a whole new world of infinite possibilities are open for us. So these are the kinds of things that we want to think, instead of resisting what we don't want, just do a little acceptance and just know that there's a power in the universe that can make our way smooth for us. There's a lot of good quotes along these ways. That we become what we think. I accept the here and now. I like a quote from the Bible in Philippians 4:11 says, "For I've learned in whatever state I'm in, therein to be content." Isn't that powerful? Learn that in any state that I'm in, therein, no matter what my circumstance is, I can learn to be content there. And we don't want to stay there forever and build a house, and yet we don't want to be struggling. We just want to be open to our good. And the more we're open to our good, the easier our good will come to us. So some of these affirmations that we can say, I accept the here and now, here and now. We can go a step further and say, I'm excited about the here and now, here and now. And even a step further, I'm enthusiastic about the here and now, here and now. I bring my enlightened enthusiasm to the here and now, here and now. So beware of all the glorious and wonderful things in your life. This gratitude thing is such a big deal. When we are in an attitude of gratitude, we are not able to wallow in anything else. If you're feeling gratitude, you're not feeling resentment. If you're feeling gratitude, you're not worrying. It's a magical thing. I do it when I see myself going down that slippery slope of worrying about something. I think, all I have to do is get into an attitude. And really, you look around, can you think of anything to be grateful for? Almost always you can think of something to be grateful for. So it's a wonderful thing, glorious and wonderful thing in our life right now. And remember that this enlightenment is the highest vibration level there is, and it moves you to the place you want to go. You are going to be impelled along that path. Giving up resistance to that which you don't want, and bringing enlightened enthusiasm to the here and now is a way to open you up to all kinds of exciting surprises. Well, speaking of surprises, this is another yogi. Yogi Berra's wife, Carmen, said to him, Yogi, what if you die before I do? She said, you're from St. Louis, we live in New Jersey, you played ball in New York. Where do you want me to have your body buried when you die? He said, surprise me. Now, those aren't the kind of surprises but we're talking about surprises that come from this enlightened enthusiasm to the here and now. You know, how wonderful it is to be aware of the here and now. Sit in a little gratitude, be open to our good. And then the third thing to boost our enlightened enthusiasm, beside meditation and then this idea of non-resistance, is realize that the universe is for you. What a wonderful realization that is when you think about, the power of the universe that created everything and everyone. I mean, you think of the vastness of the cosmos. You think, that power is somehow experience of light in, through, and as me. So that universe has my back. It's not like the universe is sitting there, one false move, I'm going to smack you. That's not what's going on. The universe is saying, how, my child, can I lift you up? How can I encourage you? So when you open up yourself to this love of God, this perfect power within, this unlimited stuff, you can do what you want to do. We live in a sea of possibilities. It's just a wonderful thought. When you think about your life, you think, oh, what am I doing? Think about we live in a sea of possibilities. Anything is possible for us when we remember that very power that created everything is the power within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson said in his essay Circles, nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. So we have to let ourselves feel something. We have to let ourselves get enthusiastic about life. So when is it the time to achieve some great things by experiencing this enthusiasm? Right now. Right now we can meditate. Right now we can give up resistance. Right now we can remember that the universe is for us. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. We're going to do enlightened and enthusiasm, and then I'm going to end with a quote by Charles Fuller. Yes?
Are we supposed to say it with you or after?
Follow me. Just after I say it, then you say it. Thank you for that. Okay, so here we go. You're going to do enlightened, and you're going to do enthusiasm. Enlightened. Enthusiasm. Enlightened. Enthusiasm. Enlightened. Enthusiasm. All right, see? Practice makes perfect, right? And so I'll just repeat what Charles Fillmore said, and that is, I fairly sizzle with joy and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. So there it is. So I would ask you now to take a deep breath and settle in where you're sitting, and I'm going to do what we call a spiritual mind treatment. It is an affirmative prayer. I say it in first person as though it's for me, it's for you too. And I know there is that one power in the universe, and that power is peace and joy and love. It is order and balance. It's all good. And I know I am one with it. It experiences life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me, in, through, and as every person. And even though I can rather easily get caught up and slide down into the slippery slope and get into a kind of a mucky rut, even though I can get the blahs from time to time or lose my fervor for life, even though that, I choose to sizzle with joy and use my abundance of energy to do those things that are mine to do. I choose that. There is a power in the universe for good, and I can consciously use it. I live in a sea of possibilities. I choose to meditate, live in non-resistance, and remember that the universe is always for me. Grateful that my word is spoken into law, and it's like a seed that's planted in fertile, welcoming soil. I know it is done unto me as I believe. In gratitude, I release these words to the beneficent conspiracy, and so it is.
there was a study done, I believe, on meditation, and they did brain imaging before, and then they went on a course of meditation for I don't remember how many weeks, months, and in the re-imaging they saw that actually the structure of the brain was changed. Yeah, so good stuff. So I thought it would be really a challenge. I don't know, it just came. It wasn't a challenge. To write a song about our experience and how we experience that which is, and not name names, but just the experience of that. It's called Always Something. Every little bit makes me so sure. With every breath it will endure. In all the places in between, there's always something I can see. Every moment so complete, in each breath, in every heartbeat, in all the places in between, there's always something I can see. All the faces, everything we do and see, it comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. There's always something, always something. There's always something, always something. In all the faces, all the places, everything we do and see, it comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. Every little bit makes me so sure. With every breath it will endure. In all the places in between.
Some talent in this room, don't we? Okay, so now it's my favorite time of the morning because I get to ask for money. And money's so good. So there are many different ways to give. You can give online. You can set up a recurring payment, which we love because it You can give here on Sundays. And we have such a giving community, giving from that place of the heart. So, in honor of knowing that is where this gift is coming from, let us just breathe into it and say thank you for this opportunity to just be.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I want to thank you for the gifts and thank you for being such generous givers. And we have a gift for you, and that is the gift of spiritual mind treatment. You can fill out a request online, and when you fill out a request online, you can either be contacted if you want or not. It's totally up to you. You can also fill out a prayer request here, and this wonderful staff of practitioners will include you on a specific topic. Or you can see one of us, like in real time, like right after this. So in the house today, we have Jeff, we have Celeste, we have Dee Dee, we have Reverend Joanne, we have myself, we have Dee Ray, and we would love an opportunity to pray with you and recognize our oneness together. For announcements, we have a foundations class going on right now. It'll end third week of March. We are going to start, practitioner Charlie Brown and I are going to do an online class on the power of decision based on the book by Raymond Charles Barker. It's going to be on Thursdays, and we're looking at 6:30, and we would love to have you. Flyers will be here next week. The cost is $50. And if there's an issue with that, please see me, because if you're interested, we would love to have you. And if you've already taken the class before, we'd like to invite you back to, they call it observe, but it's actually participating yet again. And I think that's about all we have for actual announcements, except for I would like to remind everyone that St. Patty's Day falls on a Sunday. So mark your calendars. You're going to want to be here for that Sunday. Yeah, you are. The Irish in me has stuff to share, you know? You just got to be here. Yeah, and with that, there's more stuff to come. And I want to thank you all. So I'm going to do a quick prayer. Reverend Joanne's going to do a quick blessing. Then we get to sing with Claire on out of here for refreshments. And also a reminder from a meditation perspective, you guys, we do a meditation here at 9:30 on Sundays. And if you've not meditated with a group, it's a whole different energy. It really for me, I get to go a lot deeper. So, and by the time you're done meditating, there's still coffee and goodies. So you get to have coffee and cookies before the service. I mean, come on. How's that for a double win? All right. So here we go. In this moment, I just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to be right here, right now, in this moment. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to gather, to learn, to grow, to expand, but most importantly, to be grateful for all that is, all that has been, and all that will be. It is with such love and gratitude I just allow God to do all of the heavy lifting, as I say, and so it is.
And I'll leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. Know that you're healed. Know that you're blessed. Namaste.
We don't have words, but I know you know them. And that's very repetitive, too. And it's the Beatles, so who doesn't know the Beatles, right? Since we're celebrating love in February, all you need is love. Sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need.